Hi and welcome to the kitchen. Today we are going to make one of my family's favorite winter warming up beverages. It's a mulled cranberry and apple juice combo, I guess. It's nice and spicy, makes you nice and warm, and it makes your house smell so wonderful. It's also ripping full of vitamin C with all the cranberries and the orange and the apples. So it's good for the season. So our basic ingredients. So I've got a 12-ounce bag of cranberries. I've already washed them and I've got them in the pot. So what I'm going to do is just turn that on very low, let that start warming up. No worry about having, there's enough water from washing them in there right now. I've got a couple of apples, any variety will do. I've chosen a mandarin orange. Going to grate a little bit of the peel in there, and then we're just going to open it up and throw the sections in there. Going to add a bay leaf, some rosemary leaves, lots of whole cloves, and a little bit of whole black pepper. Got some brown sugar because the cranberries are really tart. Going to add a couple of tablespoons, I just splash it in, of apple cider vinegar, and a good shot of the lemon juice back there. And then at the end of it, we're going to add some honey after it's had a chance to simmer for a while, and that'll sweeten it up and just give it a nice round warm feeling as you're drinking it. So basically you want to wash all your fruit before you do this, because we are using the rind of the orange. Make sure you wash it under hot water. Same with the apples. And I've already got the cranberries going in there. So I'm just going to throw in this brown sugar. Going to throw in a splash of apple cider vinegar. About that much lemon juice. I don't know. About a quarter of a cup, I guess. Got a mandarin orange. The peeling is really thin, and you kind of have to really work it. See, I'm already through there. This little hand grater is awesome. There's about that much on there. You can adjust this. You can use whatever kind of oranges you have handy, whatever kind of apples. If you like certain spices to be in there, go ahead and throw them in. Lots of different recipes on the internet to look at, and just use your family's favorites. So in go the segments. And as this simmers and cooks, it makes your house smell so warm. How does warm have a smell? I don't know, but... So I'm just going to chop the apples into some segments here. I'm not going to peel them. I'm not doing anything special with them. Look at that. Throwing the core right in there. Quite often the kids will ask me to scoop out a chunk of apple for their mug at the end of this. So I've washed these in hot water as well. Get all the waxes and stuff off because we're simmering it for a long time. You want the cranberries to warm up before you add some water. I like them to pop, and then you get good cranberry flavor out of it. They break down quite nicely as this simmers along. Now, onto the spices. I'm just going to throw it all in the pot. Throwing in a bay leaf. Some dried rosemary. Fresh is a lot better if you have it on hand. This is a good thing for dried herbs as well because you simmer it quite a while. I like using a lot of cloves. It's so aromatic, it's so good for you. It's a strong taste, but it's part of what warms you up. I also like to throw in a few black pepper corns, whole pepper. It just adds a little bit of a spice to it. I'm just going to cover this up and let those cranberries explode. And then I'm going to come back and add some more water and let this all simmer up, and all the flavors will blend together, and then you'll know it's time to check on it when the house starts smelling wonderful. But you're just going to let those cranberries pop, let this heat up, and then add your water. And I'll show you what this looks like after it gets going.
Go.
Okay, so I almost forgot to add the cinnamon. But the reason is we were at a great big huge store and we saw a really good deal on some raw cinnamon bark. So I haven't had a chance to put this into smaller bags yet, but I've got to open this up. I'm going to throw some of the bark in there. It'll be my cinnamon. And yes, we'll use it all. I love making tea. Hey, what's that in that pot? Cool. So that's been simmering for 5 or 6 or 8 minutes. And cranberries have all popped. The juice is all nice and red. This is beautiful. I'm gonna give this a stir. Great big cinnamon sticks in there. You can tell the cranberries have popped because the apples are turning red. They're getting soft. I'm just going to add water to fill up the whole pot. I'm going to need another jug here. And here we go. So you may notice that your nose notices the smell of the apple cider vinegar right away. That'll cook off and it'll sweeten up as the fruits simmer. Other things that you can add to this, coriander. We infused ours with some loose leaf black tea the other day and it was so delicious. Any kind of fruits that you want. If you want to add some pears in there, those are lovely. So basically what you're going to do with this is just let it simmer for hours. Hours on your stove at a low heat. It'll bubble up. It'll be so good smelling. It tastes so good. So this is what it looks like here now. Kind of not simmered at all. The fruit has started to soften up a bit. We're going to let this go and I'll show you what it looks like after it's been simmering for a while. Okay, so this has been simmering for a couple of hours now. And it looks nice and red and juicy and all the fruit is kind of simmering along the bottom. And how you'd serve this, so at this point I taste it. If it's not sweet enough, add some honey. If you like it, leave it how it is. I think it tastes fabulous. So you're just going to stick your ladle in and then scoop it into your cup, just like that. Now it's easier once this is settled to scoop it into the cup. But if you've got a pot that's a little bit more active, you've got some floating things going on in there, or you know, towards the bottom of the pot of goodies, you can always stick a colander in and scoop out of that. So I don't like to strain the whole pot of goodness here, but you can if you want to. If I were serving a nice fancy dinner, serving this to dinner guests, I would strain it. You just run it through your colander into another bowl or into another pot and then put it back on the stove and let it simmer. But around the house we just stick the colander in and scoop it right out of there. You get a little bit of pulp in there, but that's part of the goodness of the drink. So that's about it. The house smells fabulous. The family's going to love this, and I can't wait to have a nice hot mug of mulled crapple winter beverage. That's maybe different. Well, that's it for this time. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go have a nice hot cup of cranberry apple mulled winter drink. I hope you love it, and I hope you adapt it. Enjoy. I can't do it. No.